Kartikeya Sharma, you first introduce yourself.
Myself, Kartikeya Sharma. I'm from Arki district, Sulan. I've done my schooling from different schools of Himachal due to my transfer of my father, but 10th and plus 2 has been from the public school, Shimla. Thereafter, I have done mechanical engineering from NIT Himachal, and presently I am serving as Excise and Taxation Inspector in HP Excise and Taxation Department.
Okay, so you are inspired by administrative course. So, what do you think that administrator can administrator can do?
So actually,
Why it is so attractive profession for person like you?
So basically, I'm inspired from my father. I've seen him from my childhood. The kind of job variety that we have in administrative services present and the way we can serve people. I don't think so there is any other service in India as much as we can do in this service. And the connect which we have with people, that is a lot in this service, and that makes this service a very respected service in India.
So, Kartikeya, I understand your aspirations, you have a role model within the home also, right?
Yes.
But do you think, do we really need so many of administrative services people? Because if you see the policy of the current government, at least the number of postings are getting decreased day by day.
Yes.
What's your take on that?
Yes, sir. With the digitalization, the postings are reducing, and I am with the government in that aspect because slowly we are moving towards the digital world. So no doubt the services should be reduced and it should be made more efficient. But sir, the role of administration that will always remain in the service, sir, because the human touch that can never be replaced by a computer. So no doubt the services should be trimmed, but they cannot be completely ruled out. They will play an important role even in the future also.
So you have done your engineering from NIT Himachal. You have an engineering background. What were you? And you're going for a generic service, right? It's not a specialization. You have done a specialization in mechanical.
Yes, sir.
How does your engineering help you in your generalization of services that you're aspiring for?
So basically in engineering, sir, we'll learn many things apart from engineering. So basically a person grooms as a whole in engineering services. And apart from getting technical knowledge, sir, while living in hostels and working with our mates, we like, sir, develop as a whole person. So that thing can be used in any sphere of the services. And it's not like that I have studied mechanical, so it's only relevant there only. So we grow as a person, sir. So that can be realized in any aspect of our career, sir.
We have a current conflict going in the world. What's your take on between Russia and Ukraine and India's position on it?
So if we see on the humanitarian grounds, then obviously so war is never a solution to any problem. And so there should be no war at any situation. But sir, if we take India's view, sir, then Russia has been our traditional partner since the time of our independence, and especially the 1971 war when we liberated Bangladesh. Russia was the only superpower at that time that helped India by signing the Treaty of Friendship and Peace for 20 years. So we can't ignore Russia, sir. Russia has always been our partner. And if we see the Western world like US and UK, sir, their statements are merely, sir, more cosmetic than in real sense. And secondly, they have from time and again they have opposed India on Kashmir issue.
This issue of it, why it is happening?
Actually, sir, the NATO is expanding and Ukraine wants to join NATO. So it's like a provocation to Russia. Russia is against the expansion of NATO because it's like in the sphere of influence of Russia, it's just like Ukraine is their neighboring country. So it's just like, sir, some day if Russia says that we are incorporating Mexico or we are incorporating Canada, so just like they are going in the neighborhood of Russia, US and its allies, and they are increasing the sphere of influence. So Russia is against that. Russia wants that Ukraine should not join NATO and it should remain in neutral. And Russia wants that
What is that Crimea issue? Why?
Actually, sir, Putin, as the president of Russia, he wants to revive Soviet Union. Although he's not saying it openly, but somewhere in his mind he has this thing. And Ukraine has been seen as a traditional part of Russia. So they want to like reincorporate the Crimea issue, and in 2014 they attacked Crimea and incorporated that. But Western countries have not given sanction to it. Even the UN has not given sanction to it. But the main issue is that Russia wants to revive its old glory, and secondly, the US and its ally are propagating the Russia by using NATO issue and by putting sanctions on it. So basically, they are annoying Russia. So we as India, we need to take a calibrated stand that we are abstaining. That's like relevant because we can't go against Russia. It has been a traditional partner. If we see the weapons, our submarines.
So can we go against US and its
No, sir.
partners?
So actually, in the 21st century, our biggest threat is China and Pakistan. And to contain China, so we have to rely on USA and Quad partnership. So we can't clearly go against USA, but at the same time, we can't ignore Russia also. So we need to take a diplomatic tightrope between USA and Russia. So that's what we are doing. That we are abstaining from this.
So what leverage do you think India has to negotiate with Russia and to deal with USA?
Basically, sir, India is the only country presently that is enjoying the support of both the blocks of Russia as well as USA.
So what is the strength of India? How India is doing this? What is that strength?
So we are getting weapons from USA as well as Russia also, and
No.
we are.
No, because India is not taking any side.
Yes, sir.
Means supporting. So what is the strength, major strength, which is helping India?
Sir,
Neither US is opposing India, and India is also supporting that Russia. And
Yes,
otherwise, earlier lot of sanctions they used to put so many sanctions, but this time US is soft towards India. That okay, it is their interests which are they are telling that okay, it is okay
Yes, sir.
with India. So what is the reason behind this?
Actually, sir, in the last 7 years since the inception of this Modi government in 2014, so the foreign policy of India has grown in a very significant direction, and we have established good relations with USA as well as Russia also. And secondly, sir, USA also needs India to counter China. So we are exploiting that part of USA, that USA also needs India, and Russia, sir, because of our traditional ties, we are maintaining good relation with Russia. So it's a give and take for both USA and Russia. Like both these countries need India. It's not that only India needs USA or Russia. So that thing we are enjoying.
So you have seen administrator at your home
Yes, sir.
since your birth. So what fascinated, what attracted you, that what type of works or activities or what are the things your father was doing that these, okay, I should also go to this line. So what are those?
Actually, sir, the kind of job variety, the kind of job satisfaction, and sir,
No, it is a job satisfaction. How you can say you are not in that job?
Yes, sir.
You are not in this job satisfaction. It cannot be same job cannot satisfy every person. If say your interest may be different, but you may have been attracted due to some activities or something that okay, I should also go take this line.
So I've seen my father serving people and helping poor. That was like that. That were really deserving that help. So
How? What kind of help? How?
So like sometimes the poor people, they keep on standing in the queue and their work is not done by any like people, and they have to go from office to office just to get their work done, especially in the government offices. So
How do you do that? This does not need a person at the stature of IAS or someone. How do you enable the person that okay, everything is there so that everyone gets the same treatment everywhere? As an officer, if you are there, how will you ensure the processes? What kind of things that changes that you would like to bring so that this issue is not faced by anyone else?
So the best solution to this problem is digitalization, sir. So like a person should register himself while on the portal or on a office site, and he should get the token, and the work should be done according to the token, sir. There should not be like special appointment for any person, and the person should come on the time that has been given to that person, and not by like jumping the queue or just digitalization is the best solution to this.
At present, you are working as excise and taxation inspector. So what are your responsibilities?
So basically, we have to see that the taxes of the government, they are not like people are not trying to evade the taxes, and we have to see mainly two domains. First is the excise domain, and second is GST domain. Sir. In excise domain, sir, we have to see the provisions related to the manufacture, distribution, and storage of liquor. And in GST, sir, we have to see the production and transportation of goods. So regarding the excise, sir, we need to see that the even some if some liquor is coming, if carton is coming, whether it is having the right amount of permit or pass that is required, and whether there is some illegal activity that is going on. So we need to check that things by checking the pass, permit, and all those things that are required. And in GST, so we need to see that the person, does he have the proper invoice, and does he have the e-way bill and all those required documents.
So, for the economic survey of this time of government of Himachal Pradesh, what are the taxes collected?
Sorry, sir, I'm not available.
And what is the GDP?
GDP, sir, we are hoping to get around 9% growth, sir. Yes, sir.
8.3 for the next financial year? 9% growth for India or Himachal Pradesh?
Sir, India, sir.
India, Himachal Pradesh.
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
Kartikeya, what fascinates you about this job?
So best thing about this is the job variety that person gets, because sir, in any other field, sir, if we go, sir, we have to stick to a particular domain, sir, even it's private or a government, sir. But in this one day, one person can be posted in health department, next year he can be in education, then in animal husbandry. So the job variety that will always keep a person motivated. Secondly, sir, the chances to serve the people, to do something for your own state. I'm born in Himachal, and if I'm able to do something for Himachal, sir, that will give me great satisfaction.
How do you think you will be able to do something for people? How you will be able to serve people?
Yes, sir.
Being in this job.
So suppose I am a SDM of any subdivision, and there is a provision for granting land for some purpose that can be beneficial for public. So, sir, I can make a provision that this land can be used to construct a public library or sir, a public park. So that will have a impact on the whole of the population of that area, sir. Yeah, by studying on that library, in that library, sir, if people can.
Do you think you will have that privilege or decision-making capacity that you allot some land for some library?
Sir, not initially, but I think in long run I may have, sir. Even in the starting, sir, I can pursue my seniors that this can be a good proposal. So if they listen to me, sir, then probably that thing can
Okay,
be
do you need to please your boss in this job?
So I need to maintain a good rapport, sir. Not exactly pleasing and not exactly, sir, ditching, but like maintaining a good rapport and listening to him and following his orders, but also at the same time.
What do you think? You have to be obedient in a government job, more obedient in a government job, or in a private job?
Sir, it's like it depends from case to case basis, sir. It can be, sir, if a politician is like very dominant, and then person can face the similar situation in government job.
Forget about the politician. I'm talking about your immediate boss.
So
The district collector is your immediate boss.
Yes, sir. So it's our duty to listen to our district collector. But sir, if we see that something is wrong, sir, then we can point out that, sir, I think according to me this thing can be modified, sir. So I think I can put up opinion in that case, and I should not blindly follow. Although I should follow the orders, but not blindly
Right.
obey, sir.
So, what do you think is the most challenging thing? You have seen this functioning of a bureaucrat, right, very closely. What do you think is we can see, there are so many privileges, everything what a common man sees.
Yes, sir.
What do you think are the challenges, real challenges?
So biggest is to maintain healthy work-life balance and give a time to family. That can be biggest one. Secondly, sir, to go against the seniors when they are like insisting on something that should not be done. So that can also be a challenging part.
How do you plan to tackle that?
Sir, I'll stick to my principles and do my job honestly and by full probity. But sir, if there is conflict, then I'll not obey blindly, sir. I'll stick to my principles, whatever the consequences be, sir. That is the basic plan.
GST is being implemented in Himachal Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
So how, when the process, what are the issues that the government is facing?
So there's a issue of fake invoice. So like we have a requirement of issuing e-way bill for amount of more than 50,000. So many times, sir, the people get the bill of around 49,000, and they'll get 5-6 bills of 49,000, so that they don't have to make e-way bills. So in that case, sir, we have to check that if like the consignor and consignee are same. So if they are same, then that person can be penalized according to the relevant sections. So one problem is this of the fake invoice. Second is the problem that the traders are facing in filing returns and all that. So for that we have introduced tax art in our last budget, and we are working on that. And secondly, we are spreading awareness by GST money and programs like on AIR and radio. So we are doing these things.
You have been working for the past 1 year?
Yes.
1 year. So what are the problems that you saw which are within the department?
So first of all, the problem is of stagnation, sir. The promotion structure is pyramidal. So being at this excise inspector position, sir, for promotion, person has to face 15 or 16 years minimum, sir, to get promoted to next job. So main problem is of stagnation. Secondly, sir, the demands of the association, they are not met by the seniors. And secondly, sir, the facilities that a person like a sub-inspector who's at a low rank ABC hierarchy, he's getting more salary, he's getting more perks than an excise inspector. So that issue has also been issued.
The solutions that you would suggest?
So I would suggest that they need to be restructuring, and our department is already doing that, sir. We are separating the GST and excise wing. So that will, first of all, it will make the work more streamlined, and obviously it will also solve the problem of the stagnation in promotions, and it will boost the morale of employees also.
You would have gone for field
Yes, sir.
in the field. So what are the specific challenges that you faced?
Yes, sir.
And solutions for it?
So once we were going in towards Shogi, sir, and there was a truck or something like that, sir. So we told him to stop, but he didn't stop, and then we got to know that he's carrying something illegal. So we tried to chase him, but sir, we decided as a whole that it's not right to chase him after like 5-10 kilometers, because he went away towards Solan side, sir, and that could have been risky because the truck was going very fast. So that time we realized, sir, that we need a police also with us, at least a constable or something like that, so that people, like when we stop them for checking, they don't disobey, and they see excise as a like we are trying to extract something from them, but it's not like that. So we are just trying to check their documents. So first of all, we need a excise police, and our department is working towards that. Like a constable or ASI level officer should be attached with us, so that the security of excise officers is also not at risk. This is one of the main problems that we faced. And secondly, sir, this invoice issue, only that 49,000, they are sticking to 4-5 bills of 49,000 instead of making a comprehensive bill.
The department is always, people talk about corruption, and sometimes it is seen as synonymous with the department. So, is it really there?
Actually, sir, it's not present, because now after the introduction of GST, everything has been digitalized. Earlier there was excise duty, VAT, and everything, the number of taxes on everything, sir. So that time the chances of corruption were also more. But now, sir, with the digitalization, the chances are minimum, and it has been a past phenomenon, like to call excise department as corrupt department. But sir, in my last 1 year, I don't think so. I've seen that much. Not that much. I've not seen real corruption, sir. It may be like, sir, people are asking for bottles or something like that. Like we are receiving calls from high officers that please arrange the bottles for party and all that. But sir, as a department, we are not engaged in corruption, sir. That is the main thing.
So is this GST better than earlier tax regime?
Yes, sir.
How?
So basically, in earlier tax regimes, there was a cascading effect. Like there was a tax on tax. So if there is a item that is initially for ₹5 and excise duty is suppose 10%. So after that, the VAT was imposed and other taxes were imposed on the tax that was already being on that item. So by introducing GST, sir, we have first of all introduced a single tax system throughout the country. So first of all, we have reduced the cascading effect, although it is still present on items that are outside GST like sir, liquor and petrol. But sir, first of all, cascading effect has been reduced. Second is the sir, entry of cargo vehicles. Earlier they used to stand on the borders for days. They had to get their octroi and other taxes deposited. But now, sir, they show us e-way bill and the GST that they have deposited this GST. Then it has made the freight and movement seamless and improve the logistics of the country.
So as you are interested in this job, so what do you think will be your priorities or targets after joining this job?
First of all, I have seen the punctuality is really lacking in any government officer. Like yesterday, I visited a dispensary. So the time of the visiting of doctor is 10 a.m. But sir, I had to wait till 11:30, sir. And it is with every department, sir. I'll not say every department, but most of the departments it is there. So like punctuality is really missing. The officials they come at 11:30, 11:15, although they should be present by
But
10.
no, this biometric attendance system is there.
So after COVID, this has been shut and it's not restored yet. So
What steps can be undertaken to bring it? Because it's not just about bringing machinery.
Yes.
You are talking about something that depends on the mindset.
yes, sir.
Right? So how do we tackle that?
So we should give them incentives based on the second ARC recommendation, sir. Like it's like people they think that once they're in government job, it's over. Like they don't have to do anything. They are getting job. They are getting good salary. But sir, we need to incentivize them like on the like basis of like it is done in private sector. Like if person is coming early for suppose a whole month, then he should be incentivized. And if on the other side, if person is coming late, then there should be deduction from his salary. And secondly, sir, like this should be done in almost every field, sir, every domain, sir. If a person is solving the problems, he is solving the files on day-to-day basis and doing it in the way it should be, then he should be incentivized. There should be there can be tax exemptions for that person or other salary benefits or others are like a free TLC or something like that. So we need to incentivize. Secondly, sir, we need to have a sort of examinations and all that kind of system like for after 3
Promotion?
So for not for promotion also, but for sir staying in the service also. Like sir, I've seen they are police constables and they are like really obese and fat. I don't think so they'll be able to do something if there's an emergency situation. So we need to have a regular test like for after 1 year or after 2 years, so that they are
Fit for the job.
yes, sir.
Those will be able to function.
Yes, sir.
So you got 20 rank in CDPO, Student Commandant. So when you have got the joining or
No, sir, it will be after 3-4 months.
it will be after 3 months?
So which job you will prefer, that or this?
I'll prefer sir HS because in this I'll have a chance to serve my home state.
Which service have you opted for?
So I have opted for CSF, Central National Security Force.
What are the main functions of CSS?
So basically, it protects the important installations of our government, the airports, PSUs, steel power plants, and nuclear power plants. All those. That is the domain of.
CISF functions. So railway force, is it different from
Yes, sir.
for protection of railways?
Yes, sir.
Why there is a differentiation? For that?
Because sir, railway is specifically for railways, sir. And CSF, the domain of CSF is very wide, sir. It ranges from airports to dams to nuclear power plants to so many other like emerging industries like Infosys, oil refineries in Jamnagar. While in the railway protection force, only railway is the thing that we need to guard.
Can we use CSF there?
Yes, sir.
Should we or not? Is
We can
organization
use.
is right.
So we can use, but there will be protests from RPF personals, and that will create a issue without any like real cause. So it's better to keep them separate.
The major issues CISF within the CISF.
Yes, sir.
What are the major issues?
So here also the problem of stagnation and promotion is there because the top ranks like IG and ADG, DG levels, they are reserved for IPS personnel. So although cases are going on and the CSF and CAPF fraternity, they are fighting for the case, but still, sir, and even the Supreme Court has given a favorable judgment, not explicitly in the favor of CSF, but they are saying that this should be the quota of cadre officers of CAPF should be increased and the IPS officers, they should be reduced. But sir, still this is going on, and Minister of Home Affairs.
What is your take on it?
Sir,
Because IPS, it's a centralized service. If
Yes, sir.
IPS is the head, then it's easy to coordinate. And that's what the basis was.
Yes, sir.
So, what's your take on it? CAPF, the person should head it, or IPS?
So both people can head it. Like it should not be reserved for any single like IPS or CPF. It should be on the basis of merit, sir. Like there should be a proper interview conducted by UPSC. Like for the DG, sir, recently UPSC told that people need to send 4 senior most IPS for any state. Similarly, in this case also, there should be proper merit-based interview, and it should not be reserved for a single like IPS only. And sir, if there is deputation, then it should be both ways. Like IPS only come at the top level. If they want to come, they should also try to come at the lower levels like deputy commandant and commandant level also. But they come only at the decision making level. So ground realities are known by the cadet officers, and ground realities are not that much known by IPS officers because their work is mainly decision implementation. So that can be an issue. So
It was nice meeting you, Kartikeya.
thank you, sir.
All the
You have a aura that speaks for you, right? Very, very confident, very, very right attitude. Couple of small things that I personally feel, because I do not come from this government background. I am comes from the multinational aspect. That any day, right? Even within the multinationals, also we have multiple ways and teams, different teams, right? Amount of effort that you put in the job should not be a determining factor for what you want to do, right? Because there is a saying that if you really love your job, you forget that time, right? कि कितने hours आपने spend कर दिया, right? So one thing is the comparison you make between government jobs 14 hours daily versus multinational not opposite, sorry. Those are not fact based. Second is again, it should not come as an effort or in terms of the effort that you want to, because ये इसमें 14 घंटे लगते हैं, that's why I do not want to do this. It should be related to more of your aspiration in terms of people intensive or बहुत ज़्यादा varieties of jobs that you talked about, a lot of other things. Effort के ऊपर if you work, तो वो थोड़ा एक negative में आ जाता है perception कि अच्छा person because of effort you may be required 48 hours in a jungle job if you go some into right, so वो impact नहीं आता. Your work impact should speak of it, not the effort that is there. So that's one part that I had. One last point I had was, but when you're talking about in terms of people, because beauty or the beauty of the civil jobs relies that you can touch the lives of the people, right? You have your aspirations that you can work today in this department, this department, this department. You will learn a lot, but everything that you work upon relates to the people, right? So वो जो people aspect था, that sir had to pull you out. कैसे help की, क्यों help की? That should come naturally to you, right? Your aspiration is fine, but the impact of your aspirations, the people impact, that is why the civil line is there, right? Between the bureaucracy and the entrepreneurs, and then you have the civil line, a bridge between everything that makes everything happen. So what people impact is personally, which I felt was a bit less, that you could improve a bit, give more specific, job satisfaction and how do I will improve the lives of the people and going the impact. So थोड़े वो example if you can include, that will be really helpful. That's from my side. Best of luck, my friend.
गुड. एक चीज़ तो ये है कि जैसे आप बोल रहे थे कि गवर्नमेंट, मोदी गवर्नमेंट, तो आप ये चीज़ यू हैव नॉट टू स्पेसिफाई गवर्नमेंट. For last year, government is improving in the economic front, in the defense front, and they have developed good lesson. Whether it is otherwise, what happens that what it reflects that you are inclined towards that Modi government. So use simply government, central government, and confidence is there. And you were talking about that Ukraine and that. Because India now is a self means they have not that much dependency, and all countries know like that. You can tell. Yes. On average, whether it is a defense, you have seen that how China and India have that confrontation in and what is the stand of India, that has also taken a good views throughout the country, throughout the world, that okay, there is a someone, because first any country will support you or I will support you when you will be capable. So, and one thing that government of the day, whatever our government is doing work, and since last you can say 10 year 8 that you can say, but Modi that does not. And one more thing that we were talking, your confidence is good. Confidence is that there is no that we cannot instruct guide you on that front, because your confidence is very good. So, and it depends how much marks you have taken in your that written exam also, but there is a good opportunity for you. And one thing here I was if it is also written there, you start with a positive thing after graduation. You remove that I graduated from NIT and that like this.
I was thinking to remove this because I have met 5-6 people, and I think so there are 10 people from NIT, so this will not be making any impact, sir.
No. That after means you after, because like you have appeared in the interview, you given the replies, and you what your appearance is like that time after so you can you can start this, you can ask, you can discuss.
You graduated from an institute which is a NIT. It's not a small institute. It gives you this kind of achievement. Not every
reputed college. That is thing.
I was thinking like there are many people from NIT.
So what? No. It doesn't matter.
There are not many people.
Many people. You have to,
There are very few.
No.
That means engineers makes better administrative jobs.
This is showing your proud. You can write that I have done my graduation from this college, because it is a reputed, well reputed, and a lot of people are getting good opportunities, good jobs. So it is good, but simply line started. It is.
So in my opinion, you are fully prepared for that. You have clarity of thought. आपकी हर एक चीज में एक clear opinion है, clear solutions है आपके लिए. And I liked the way you क्या बोलूँ handled the thing very cleverly. जब पूछा कि डिपार्टमेंट में करप्शन है या नहीं, you handled it, ठीक है, very cleverly. तो that is a good answer कि आपने बिल्कुल वो भी नहीं डिनाई भी नहीं किया, ठीक है. एंड वन मोर थिंग जो आपने बहुत ही क्लेवरली बताया कि भाई आप क्या करना चाहोगे, आपने पंक्चुअलिटी को हिट किया, विच इज वेरी नॉन कॉन्ट्रोवर्शियल. थोड़ा सा उसको थोड़ा सा सॉलिड बना देना. मतलब आपसे ये पूछा गया कि अगर आप इस सर्विस में आते हो उसके बाद आप क्या करोगे, तो पंक्चुअलिटी बहुत ही माइनर जैसे छोटा सा मुद्दा रहता है, उस पर बस थोड़ा सा.
और दूसरा जो
आपने बहुत अच्छा किया, जो अच्छा मुद्दा पकड़ा, उसमें कंट्रोवर्सी नहीं हो सकती है.
एक अपने
लेकिन एक सॉलिड सा कोई ऐसा रखे, एक ब्यूरोक्रेटिक पर्सपेक्टिव है आपका.
बड़ी चीजें बोले तो फिर वो बोलते हैं
बड़ी, आप सही कह रहे हो, बड़ी पे मत जाओ, कंट्रोवर्शियल पे मत जाओ. इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ आपने बहुत क्लेवरली पंक्चुअलिटी पकड़ा. एक ऐड कर दो उसमें, एक चीज ऐड ऑन कर दो, कुछ भी ऐड कर सकते हो कि नहीं कुछ नहीं करना है भाई, गवर्नमेंट आपने तो ऑर्डर्स ओबे करने हैं ऊपर से. तो आई वुड फोकस ऑन इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्ट. आप ये बोल सकते हो कि प्रोसेसेस हैं, प्रोसीजर्स हैं, एवरीथिंग है, तो मैं उनको ओवरसी करने का वो भी एक हो सकता है. वो आपने अच्छा किया कि छोटा सा एक मुद्दा पकड़ा, उसमें कोई इशू नहीं. क्या बोल रहे थे आप?
वो ठीक था, बड़ा थोड़ा मुश्किल होता था हैंडल करना.
यू आर राइट, बड़ा फिर हम हैंडल नहीं कर पाते.
होप भी है, हाँ होप है, यू विल गेट दैट.
बॉडी लैंग्वेज सही है, एकदम ठीक है, बैठ जिस तरह से हो, कॉन्फिडेंट हो, आवाज का थ्रो अच्छा है, पिच अच्छी है, शिफ्टिंग अच्छी है, ठीक है. एक चीज देखना, क्या होता है जब हम कुछ बोल रहे होते हैं, अगर हम फैक्ट बेस्ड बोलेंगे तो वो अच्छा लगता है. अदरवाइज ऐसा लगता है कि मुझे ऐसा लगता है. जैसे आपने बोला कि यूएसएसआर, पुतिन यूएसएसआर को रिवाइव करना चाह रहे हैं, देखो ये कहीं लिखा हुआ है, ये कहीं, तो ये आपको लगता है, ठीक है ना. तो सीधा ये आ रहा है कि आपका पर्सपेक्टिव है. जब हम कोई बड़ी बात बोल रहे हैं ना, अगर तो फैक्ट के साथ अगर बोलेंगे तो फिर वो अनबायस्ड नहीं है, अदरवाइज वो फिर हमारा बायस है.
जो लिखा हुआ है, मतलब जो रिटर्न है वो बोलो वहां पे कि ये है रीजन, क्योंकि रीजन जो है, क्योंकि वो नहीं चाहता कि नाटो आए. क्यों नहीं चाहता? क्योंकि उसकी सिक्योरिटी के लिए थ्रेट है. वो नहीं बोलता कि मैंने तेरे को, वो बोल रहा है कि आई विल नॉट एनेक्स, मैं आप ठीक है, पर बिकॉज ऑफ दैट देयर इज ए सिक्योरिटी थ्रेट टू मी.